Well, the bamboo printer is busy as always. I'm still loving this thing.
Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog for Monday, February the 24th, 2025, and it is vlog number 397. We're in the last week of February. Wow, where'd January go? Now February. Things are just going by way too fast, but really I'm not complaining because the faster it goes, the closer we're going to get to spring weather. I think a lot of people are starting to get cabin fever and want spring weather, but we've still got some time to go. We're having a bit of a thaw here right now. And when I say a bit of a thaw, well, right now it's a balmy -2 Celsius. That's warm. So yeah, here anyways, in our area. But in the meantime, we always have our quilting to keep us warm and cozy. So that's what I have been doing. I'll show you my latest complete here. Here it is. This is my own pattern, as you know, called Cornered Stars. And I did make a mistake on the first version of this that I did, but this is the second version. And Walter has gone over it with his scrutinize with a fine-tooth comb and checked it all out for mistakes, and he couldn't find any. So that's a good thing. So I'm really happy with the way this turned out. The quilting is done on it. It is bound. And yeah, so there it is. Now, tomorrow I will talk about the release date for the pattern for this. I still have to do some minor adjustments to the pattern to make sure it is user-friendly, but more about that tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter. And then the next thing that I finished up, this was sort of a palette cleanser. I've been doing a lot of in the hoop machine embroidery, as you know, and this was just something I had in my set of things that I saw one time, thought it was cute and I should have it. And so I finally got around to doing it, and it turned out great. And yeah, it is now on the wall behind an actual old style Singer sewing machine that was gifted to me. And I'm going to show that to you tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter and talk a little bit more about all of that and about this particular piece as well. These are just teasers for tomorrow's Idiot Quilter. And I've gone back to a quilt that's been haunting me for 2 years, and is called the Barn Star Sampler. And you can see it's got very large blocks. The biggest blocks up there are 24.5 inches square. I am slowly but surely working on this. I can't say as though I'm enjoying it, but again, we'll see what happens with this. I may start another project and put this on the back burner for another 2 years. I have no idea, but we will see. Okay, so that is what I have been working on. And that brings me to YouTube channel of the week. And, you know, 3D printers have come a long way since I started 3D printing about, what is it, 4 years ago or so. And of course, you know, I have my latest Bamboo X1 Carbon, which I am absolutely loving. I can tell you that right now. I'm absolutely, well, it's worth every cent that I paid for it. And I mean, it was 4 times more expensive than the Creality KEs, which are good little printers too, but they're a little bit higher maintenance than the Bamboo. But anyways, they now have a little printer out there for kids. It's a toy, but it's an actual 3D printer. Well, you know, kids have iPods these days, and they have their own cell phones. Even by the time they're in grade 1 or grade 2, they've got cell phones of some sort. And most of them grew up with an iPad in their hand. So why not a 3D printer as well? I am really tempted to look into buying one of these. I'm not sure how much they cost. And I think that in this particular video clip I'm going to show you, he mentioned it was a Kickstarter. So I don't bother to get into Kickstarters, but it is a cute little machine. So watch the video, you'll get the point. This week's video clip is called The Best 3D Printer for Kids in 2024, Kidoodle. That's the name of the printer, Kidoodle. And this has been designed as a toy in quotation marks for children. Now, the person who put this video had his daughter try it out, and she's only 6 years old, and she did amazing things with it. It has been made very kid friendly with, as you can see in the picture here, a really large screen that has a lot of built-in um, files for them to use. And it really doesn't need to have any connection to your internet system or to your iPhone or anything like that, or even to a computer. However, it does have the capability of having all those things with it. So although it is marketed as a toy for children, it is actually very sophisticated. And 3D printers are going to become something that every home is going to have one eventually. They're already starting to become very user friendly right out of the box. So this is just another general or expected evolution in 3D printing, I am sure. But if you're interested in this kind of thing, if you're interested in 3D printing and where it's headed, and if you're looking for a great toy idea for Christmas for your child, then you're going to want to check out the best 3D printer for kids in 2024. So if you want to see the full video of the review of that, what do they call it, a Kidoodle, cute name, then the link is in the show notes. There is a link for Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen, as always, Wednesdays, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. Come and go as you please. Bring it along whatever you want to work on. We always have a good time. And there are links to my other two patterns. They're always there. They're always free. If you're interested, just download them. Cost you absolutely nothing. And there are links to all my friends' YouTube channels, and there are links to last week's videos as well. So lots of links in there for you to take advantage of. So let's take a look at what's going on outside this morning. And right now it is currently, what time is it? It is 6:39 in the morning, Eastern time. And you can see we still have snow, but you can see that it is slowly receding a bit. Now, no sense getting my hopes up too soon, because we could have several blasts of snow yet. Winter is not over. But in the meantime, enjoy this balmy weather at -2. And I think today's high is going to be, oh, that's interesting. Today's high is going to be actually 4 degrees. That's above zero. So that's going to take away some of this snow a little bit too. And in the long distance forecast, well, we do have snow for Wednesday, but it's a 50% chance of that. And then snow on Saturday, and it's 50% chance as well, but sunny on Sunday. So, and now they're saying next Tuesday, a week from this Tuesday, 55% chance of rain, and it's got a high of 5 degrees. So, well, maybe spring will come earlier. I don't know. What did the groundhog see a shadow? And what does that mean? I always get it mixed up. He sees a shadow, spring comes early. If he doesn't see a shadow, it's still winter. I don't know. Whatever. You don't need to explain it to me. I don't really care. Okay, so that takes me to what's pissing me off this week. Well, if you caught Stephen and Walter live, let me switch this over. If you caught Stephen and Walter live this past Sunday, you know that it was a very serious tone I was setting. I went through how we as Canadians feel about what's happening to us because of Trump. And I really didn't want to get into this on Stephen and Walter Live, because there's many people subscribed to my channel that are basically good people and are not Trumpers. And they must feel helpless given the situation that we find all of ourselves in right now with this megalomaniac, this self-centered, conceited orange pumpkin out there. He is hated. He is hated. I don't think there has been a man hated so much in a long time in history. But anyways, we talked about how we as Canadians feel about what's going on, and, why pick on us? Now, I do realize that there would be people who would not agree with what I had to say and who are diehard Trumpers. And diehard Trumpers have big mouths, and they really like to put out their opinion and think that they're going to be able to change those of us that aren't Trumpers' minds. Not going to happen. And they say nasty things on my channel in the comments. Well, I mentioned this yesterday, and I said, and I had one when I woke up this morning, I eliminate those nasty comments, and I eliminate the producers of those comments. I unsubscribe them from the channel. I block them. And I will continue to do so. Now, some of you might say, well, that's censorship. Yes, it is. Right. But you know my motto, my sandbox, my rules. And if someone doesn't want to get censored, you better play nice on here. My whole reason for doing what I did, though, was I felt I needed to educate Americans about the situation from the Canadian point of view, because let's face it, Americans know very little about Canada. They are not taught much about Canada. Their news media, their social outlets are all about America. And really, all of those kind of places keep you very ignorant about what's happening in other places of the world, especially Canada, who's right on your doorstep. We were at one time good neighbors. I say we were. We're not so much right now because we're pissed. We are pissed. You poke the bear, as the saying goes. But you have to realize there are some people there that don't bother with the news, and I get it. They don't want to hear any more about this. It's trying. It's very trying. And I did say yesterday on Stephen Walter Live that I do not intend to have everything that I talk about on my channel about politics, because I'm tired of it too. But if I feel there's something that needs to be brought up, especially when people aren't watching the news or aren't getting their information from reliable sources, that maybe they need to have a little bit of education. I don't know. I guess it's the teacher in me. So that was really my intent of yesterday. And I think most people got that. Well, so, to give a little hope as well, because at the end of that discussion yesterday, I did say what people could do to better the situation. And I know a lot of those ideas sound like, oh, that's a lot of work and no one's going to pay attention anyways. Well, that's a defeatist attitude, and we shouldn't have a defeatist attitude, because that's what bullies like Trump feed on. They see that as a weakness, and they will capitalize upon it for their own needs. So we need to press ahead, and, resistance is not futile. It's something we need to do. We all need to do. And when I say we, I don't just mean Americans. I mean Canadians as well. And we are doing our part, and we're going to be doing more. Stay tuned for that. I want to make something very clear, though, about my channel. My channel is about quilting and sewing. This part of my channel, the vlog, is more about my 3D printing and about everyday life, and there can be all kinds of, it's a potpourri of different things. Idiot Quilter is more focused on quilting and sewing. So Chatty is more focused on quilting and sewing. Stephen and Walter Live is a free-for-all. We usually get our ideas from you, from the people who watch, what comes up in the conversation. We usually have a main topic, but sometimes we don't ever get to it because people have come up with other things that are more interesting to pursue. So we go with the flow on that. And that's really what my channel is all about. It's a variety of things. I don't want to be pigeonholed into one thing. Now, this has created some horrible comments. Yes, they were directed to me. They're the people that I've eliminated out of here, and their comment, because they don't want me. They were making demands on me. They're telling me what I should be doing. No. You don't tell me what to do. You have no right to tell me what to do. I don't tell you what to do. I make suggestions of what you could do in the case of the political situation, but it's really ultimately in your hands. You control that. I would not be so arrogant and self-centered and such a Trump as to tell you what you should be doing. So you should not be doing that to me. Thus, the reasons for censorship. Because your comments are not contributing to the community I have created here in a positive way. And that's what that is for. So, yeah, you don't make demands of me. And if you don't like that, if you think my attitude is arrogant with that, there is nothing stopping you from going away. To use Walter's phrase, just go away. Unsubscribe. It's not going to break my heart. I don't need people like that here. You know, um, tainting or poisoning the environment, because that's what you're doing. So just go away. It's very simple. Anything that you say is not going to hurt my feelings, is not going to make me change what I do. So you're wasting your time. And nobody's really going to see your comments because as soon as you write them, I get a notification they're there and I go in and get rid of it. And you. Yeah. So you know how this works now, don't you? I only want people who enjoy being here on the channel. If it doesn't bring you joy, screw off. Yeah. Bottom line, always the bottom line for me is this. My sandbox, my rules. If you want to follow your own rules, get your own sandbox. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the grow lights. And actually, I want to focus on our peppers because I am so excited about my peppers. Go figure, right? So here we are. Now, look at the size of those suckers. Those are edible size. And one of the green peppers is turning red. And we do have yellow peppers too. Here's a close-up. Look at those beauties. They are beauties. And we've got a lot of them way back in the jungle there. We even have black peppers or really deep colored peppers and yellow peppers. It's amazing. It's pretty. It makes me happy. I don't want to pick them and eat them. But we better start because we don't want them to rot either. But yeah, this has been very successful this year under the grow lights, and we're not done yet. We'll start more of these suckers up as we start eating these, get more going. And it is my hope that we are able to perpetually grow peppers year round under the grow lights. The lettuce is okay. We're doing that. But to be honest, we haven't eaten as much of it. We try to throw it in with our other salads. We buy these bagged chopped salads from Costco. I quite like them. They have kale in them, and they have cabbage as well, and some other stuff chopped up. And we've been eating those quite a bit in the last 6 months. But we are supplementing those with our own lettuce as well. So we'll continue to grow lettuce too. But the green peppers, they are a thing of true beauty. Okay, so new products. Well, I just bought more filament, so that's kind of boring. I've been trying to buy more of the bamboo filament because their filament's actually very good. The price is pretty good too. And they have a system whereby you can buy refills for the spools that you have. The spools will unlock and the refills are a little bit less expensive because you're not getting another plastic reel. And you can just slap this refill right onto that and away you go. And I think that's a brilliant idea because 3D printing produces an awful lot of waste, a lot of plastic. And this is just one way to cut back on that a little bit. Now, if only I could recycle printer poop because the printer poop's starting to pile up. A big bag of printer poop and I'm hanging on to it. I don't know why. I'm thinking of using the printer poop in, I'll get some little plastic bags and we have a bag sealer upstairs. And when I ship out stuff on my monthly draw in the box, instead of using crinkled up newsprint to keep everything, secure in the box, I think I'll use these instead as protection. So with every box that gets sent out, you will get some free packets of printer poop. You're welcome. But anyways, when's our next draw, by the way? Just as a side, next draw will be this coming Sunday because we'll be into the first Sunday of March, I believe. Will we not? Today's what, 24th? Yes, we will be. So, yeah. So Maybe you'll win some poop. Yeah, that sounds great, eh? Walter did get something new. We were at Costco, as we do all the time, and they had this light, a ceiling fixture light. And it has all these different settings for different types of light, warm, cool, whatever, daylight. And he's been complaining, well, I've been complaining every time I walk into his sewing room. Well, you don't walk into his sewing room, you basically dig a tunnel to get in there, because Walter believes floor space is meant for storage. It's dark. And I've said to him many times, how the heck do you see what you're trying to do with this lighting in here? Well, that's okay for me. I can see it. Go away. All right, whatever. It's your room. But then he saw this light and they were on sale for a good price, because he said actually he'd looked at the same light in other spots and they were about $69. They were $39 at Costco. So I said, well, we should get one. So we picked one up. He installed it. Oh my God. You need sunglasses and sunscreen. When you turn on that light, wow. And I said, that is great. I think I should have one. You can't see it, but over above me, there is a track light. Now, that track light has been there for quite some time, and it's just not bright enough. I have a lot of lights in this room, all commanded by my, don't want to say her name too loud, Echo, to turn them on. But I could really use a light to replace the track light that's bright like this, because it's right over top of my cutting table. And you want to have a lot of light when you're there, because one moment you're cutting fabric, the next moment you look down and, oh my God, I have fingers. Yeah, laying all over my cutting mat. So we went back to Costco and got another one. Now, one thing that would have made this a little nicer is they have another model, but Costco didn't sell it, and we didn't realize that until we got home. That will run from like your Echo, your Surrey, your Amazon, your all your devices, your smart devices. And that would have been nice, because then I've always toyed with the idea of getting something that would allow me to turn on this track light like I turn all the other lights on here, because all I'd have to say is, well, Echo, lights off.
Okay.
Echo, lights on.
Okay.
Echo, fabric light off. Echo, fabric light off.
Okay.
So you see, I can control my lights like this, and I can do them all at once, or I can do them individually. So, but the only light I can't control is the track light, which you can't see. It's above me. That one I can't control with Echo. But they did have a light fixture like the one we picked up at Costco that you can do that with, but they didn't have it there. And as I said, we didn't think about it until we got the other lights home. Then Walter decided his light's too bright. He should have a dimmer switch. So back to Costco we went. They had a 3-pack of dimmer switches that would work with these particular lights, and they're also Wi-Fi compatible. So 3-pack for $40 or something. Walter says that's a good price for dimmer switches. So we got it home, and he spent the rest of the afternoon yesterday before we went live cursing and swearing as he tried to wire it in. It never did work. He's not sure what he did wrong. We watched some videos last night about wiring it, and I think today he's going to give it another try. And when he's got that perfected, then he'll install my light and a dimmer switch down here, and then I can have it so that everything comes on with my Echo. I know you're probably thinking to yourself, oh my God, he's a nerd. I am. But if it's a machine, if it's something to do with computer technology, if it's something with AI, I'm all in. I know, I'm obsessed. Okay, so that's about the only other thing we got new. Do we get anything else here? Oh, yes. Okay, when we were in Costco, we went to Costco to get yogurt, eggs, salad, chocolate milk. We came out with all those things, plus a light, plus dimmer switches, and this other little device, which I'm really excited about. It's a power block. But power blocks, I've got a lot of them around, but they're all wired power blocks. Like when you want to use the power block, you have a little cord you have to plug into the power block and the other one into your device to charge it up. Now, when we go traveling, I usually have a messenger bag with me where I throw essentials like collapsible umbrellas, Walter's hats, sunscreen, little incidentals like that, including a power block for my cell phone, since I do all of my photos, all of my videos as on any trip, all through the cell phone. And the videos especially eat up your battery very quickly. So when we're walking around and I'm not using the cell phone, I just plug it in to the power block in my bag and we're fine. But this one doesn't need the power cord. It actually, because of the magnetic system that are on iPhones, it clamps right to it. And you could actually, in theory, put it in your purse or in your pocket with the power block on it. So it's charging away. You got 2 of them for $50. So we bought them. Walter's got one and I've got one. And I think this is going to be great. And I made a little video to show you what I'm talking about. And I'm going to insert it right here for you. So I thought I'd show you my latest toy. Well, it's really not a toy. It's a very practical device. We were in Costco the other day and happened to see this thing, which is basically a power block. And this is what it looks like. But you'll notice that it has a little mark here, which says it's for charging your iPhone. So all you do is turn it on. Now, the thing is, it's got a built-in little holder. So you can just set this up on your desk. And all you do is you take your phone and it magnetically clamps to it. And you'll notice the little green, or maybe you don't notice it. No, you don't right now. Okay, up here in the top, the charging indicator is now on, and it will charge my phone. But the thing is, I can just turn this around. There it is. And, oops. That's not what I want to do. There we go. So I've got it onto the back, and it holds pretty strong. And if I'm on the road, I'm traveling or whatever, I need to charge up my phone, I'll just grab this, put it on, stick it back in my pocket. Might be a little bulky in my pocket, but usually I have a travel bag on my shoulder when we're out traveling, so I'll just throw it in there. But really great. And then you know how much charge you've got on the back. It shows you. And you can turn it on, turn it off by holding it in, turn it on. It shows you, oops, get it in the camera here. It shows you how much of a charge I have. And all the lights are lit up here. The one blue one just shows that it's on as well. But this is fully charged because I just fully charged it. And you just charge it. There's a little cable. Comes with the cable. And the cable just goes into the side here. It's a C adapter. And so you just plug it into wherever. And away you go. I think this is great. Now, the best part was this was about $50, but you got 2 of them. So Walter's got one and I have one. And we'll be taking these with us anytime that we go on a trip. Great. Highly recommend it at Costco. Don't know if it's in your Costco in your area, but it was in ours. Get them while they're hot. So back to 3D printing. Yes, I have been printing some little trinkets and things, playing around. These are on the older printers, the KEs, because my bamboo's been tied up for the last week doing very elaborate prints, the pieces for the Haunted Mansion, which you will eventually see when I get it together. But there's a lot of pieces, some assembly required. And so I'm doing it all through the bamboo because there's color changes and, of course, the automatic material supply system does a wonderful job with that. But in the meantime, I didn't want the other ones to feel unused or, get jealous of the big one. So I printed these things. Now, lately I've been getting into key fobs. I don't know why. But you can see down there, there's 2 little articulated baby chameleons on rings. And I think it's kind of cute. That's their tongue that hangs onto the key ring part. And then you can't see them very well in this picture, but there's two little bluish colored guys there with rings on them. They are skeletons in hoodies. They're kind of fun. Thinking ahead to Halloween. I'm also thinking about things that you can put if I make more tote bags, which I will be doing. And you know, it's nice to put on the zipper pull a little fob. Well, I found different things that could work for that. Up here at the top, there's these little cockatoos. I haven't got a ring in them, but they'd be kind of cute. And then there's these things. Now, I didn't think about it before, but these have nothing to do with the occult. They have to do with, they call them alchemist pins. And so they're just random little triangles and symbols. They don't mean anything. But I thought those would look, you know, in different colors and that look kind of cute, dangling from a tote bag as well. There is a little cute little guy up here. He's called Horned Cat. He was just for fun. I threw him in the toys basket. Yeah, you know, I've got baskets marked with all the different types of prints I do. Like as if I was going to have a store or something. I am not. But I keep hoping that the places I keep trying to donate them to will call me and say they want more of something and I have them in stock. Yeah, I'm deluding myself. But anyways, I also made this. I want to see how well it would print, and it printed out fantastically. This is like a sconce. It's of a lion head, and it's now hanging on the wall over where I have my other 3D prints sort of on display. Completely impractical, but fun. And then I love this, and I want to do more of these and possibly make them a little bigger. This little tray thing, but that printed beautifully. This would be great for, you know, holding little miscellaneous items. You could make it a size that you could put on a night table for holding jewelry, watches, whatever. All kinds of things with this. So I'm going to play more with that kind of thing and change the dimensions of the design and see what I can come up with. Maybe combine it with some of my gnomes. Ooh, new gnome tray. Yeah, that could be a possibility too. So basically, I'm still using the KE printers. They're working fine. I did have a major problem with one of the printers the other day. I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but I was getting this strange smell coming from one of the printers. It was a plasticky, chemical smell. Now, I had just put in a new roll of filament that I'd never used before, and I'm thinking, and I think it had like, they called it Galaxy. It has sparkly stuff in it, and I thought, maybe that's what the smell's coming from, because they do put additives into the filament. It's not pure plastic compound. There's other things in them as well. Probably extremely toxic and will kill me. But, you know, that's the price you pay for making 3D prints. No, I did look that kind of stuff up, and from what I can determine, there's not a lot of danger, not with the kind of things that I do. Anyways, I digress. So I changed out the filament, put another one in, but the smell was still there, lingering. And then I got thinking, oh, I wonder if there's a problem inside, if I have what they call heat creep, where the filament basically is getting plugged up and it's backing up into the extruder kind of a thing, and that can cause you all kinds of grief. Essentially, you may have to replace your hot end anyways, assembly and all of that, or possibly the whole extruder. And now I did have a huge blob on one of the prints that it didn't stick to the plate, and it made this like thing, blob, like the blob in the movie, hanging underneath the nozzle. So I thought, uh-oh, there is a problem. So I opened everything up, and oh yeah, that's where the smell was coming from, because around there's something called a ceramic block that's in there that works with the heating system, and the plastic had melted and crept all over it and coated it really well, and there were some wires there which causes those to burn off. And yeah, now luckily I have a whole assembly in supply. I keep them on hand because this is not the first time I've had a problem like this, and basically the only solution is to replace the whole unit. A whole unit is not that expensive. It's under $40 Canadian. I like to keep 2 in stock at any time, and so I fixed it, no problem. that's the one thing about the Creality printers, if you've had them for a while, and you can fix them yourself, pretty much. And I'm sure the Bamboo Labs one is going to be the same. I've already had to do one little, it wasn't really a repair, it was my fault. But I did take the AMS completely apart. That was in the first couple of days of the thing, because I got a little blockage in there, a little piece of filament, and I learned quite a bit by doing that. And it was not hard to do. So that's a good thing. That gives me more reassurance that I can service my own machines, because essentially with 3D printers, if you don't service them yourself, who's going to service them? Because right now there's not a lot of places out there that will bother with that. And if they do, it's going to probably cost you. And depending on how much you've paid for the machine, well, you know, you may not want to pay. It may be cheaper to buy a brand new machine. But if you can service them yourself, and they're not hard to do, you just have to get over the scare factor. That's all. That was what it was for me. And now that I have, I don't care. I'll pull the little sucker right apart and do whatever needs to be done with it. So yeah, that was excitement this week. Okay, so what else do I have? Okay, that takes me to old video clips from old early versions of S&W Live. And this one was generated by a question on one of the episodes, one of the early episodes, where people wanted to know how Walter and I met. So this is, well, let's just call it when Harry met Sally, or Sally met Harry, when Stephen met Walter. Anyways, take it to look.
Was about, well, we'll come to that one. I was just going to say, we've been married for 12 years, legally now, but we've been together for 34. So yeah, we're a long-term couple. We've been around a long time with each other. In Canada, it's not a big deal being gay. No one cares anymore. And if they do, that's their problem. But we live in a very fortunate place in the world, in this country. So, you know, we're lucky. What are we up to? 12, 13 now? Congrats, guys. Thank you, Deborah. Yeah. So somebody asked, speaking of that, they wanted to know how we met. Well, it was last century. Said 34 years.
34 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, there's something flying around in here.
That was before YouTube and before the internet.
Yeah, there wasn't any internet. There wasn't, well, not internet for us as we know it today. Well, we didn't have access to it then. So we met the old-fashioned way. You used to be able to put in a personal ad, singles wanting to meet singles, in one of the local newspapers. So that's how we met. We met through an ad. Angelica says, you're lucky over there. Here it's just becoming legal to marry for gay people. Yeah, eventually it'll probably be legal all around the world, but there are some countries in the world, because of, you know, cultural, religious beliefs, things like that, where it may still take a little time to get that accepted. I don't know what the fear is.
Well, actually,
We're
when
not
we
threatened.
got together, we never ever imagined that we could get married. So
No, it wasn't even in our radar. We never even considered it. We didn't think about it. And then when they finally legalized it in Canada, I kind of said to Walter, you know, if we got married, we could ask for money, because we don't need china, and we don't need silverware, and we don't need glassware, because we have all that stuff after, at that point, we'd been together for 22 years. We didn't need any of that stuff. And we'd been to a lot of our friends' weddings, and they were all straight people. So I figured it was kind of payback time, right? So if we got married, and then we could put in a hardwood floor, rip up the carpeting and put in a hardwood floor. It was actually a bit of a joke when we started to discuss this, but then as we got thinking about it, we thought, well, why not? Why shouldn't we get married? Because there were certain things still in this country that if you were not a married couple, legally, there could be problems. So we thought, what the heck? Let's get married and it's payback time, invite all the straight people to the wedding. So we did. It was a Friday night wedding. It was a cocktail sort of reception. We got married in the same hall where we had the reception. We got married by a Unitarian minister, because Walter is an agnostic and I'm a born-again agnostic. So what I mean by that, there's a whole thing
He
on
used
there
to be
about religion.
Presbyterian.
I used to be a Presbyterian, okay?
And no, he's not.
No, I'm not a Presbyterian, but that's a discussion for another
That
time
takes a
because
while.
that's really long and involved, and I don't know you people that well yet to tell you that story, right? So anyways, we had that. We made it into a big party. We had door prizes for people.
Mhm.
A lot of our friends that were there donated certain things to the wedding. Like one of our friends was a master baker. She taught baking. She was a teacher as well as been through the
Yeah.
business, and she designed and made our wedding cake. And it was a gorgeous
We
wedding
didn't
cake.
even know what flavor it was going to be when she gave it to us. So she gave us 3 flavors.
Yeah,
She did them all in checkerboard. So it was really neat when you cut into it.
and it was a 3-tiered cake, but it went out. She had a special stand, so rather than going up, it went like one layer here and another one off to the side here, another one off to the side here. It was a beautiful cake. Friends of ours were DJs as well, so they donated their time and their service, and they're no longer a couple, unfortunately. Oh, what do you know? The phone rings right now, and if it's not anybody important, I'm not answering it, and it's not telling me who it is. So.
Call from up.
Oh no,
No.
go away. It figures, it's dinner time here, and you get these stupid calls, and this is somebody looking for donation for clothes for a local charity. And there's about 4 different charities that call you on a regular basis. That will stop. And they call me 2 times a week. Yeah, I don't go through clothes that quick. Really. I mean, we do give to them, but not every week. But anyways. So, what was I talking about? Getting married.
Yeah.
So it was a big party, and there were door prizes, and we had a lot of fun, and that was it. Game over. And then we were supposed to go to Disney World. Right? And I got an ear, week before we got married or so, my eustachian tube in my ear plugged up. I have a little problem with that every now and then. And I had to go to a specialist, and I said, well, can I fly? And he goes, it's funny because, okay, I'm not being racist, but he was a Chinese background. He goes, oh no, you don't fly, your head blow up real big. Oh yeah, make horrible mess all over plane. Stewardess be crying. So I said, I guess we can't go. So we didn't go.
No, we
Then we went later,
We
but
canceled it.
We
Thank God
canceled
for
it.
cancellation insurance.
yeah, we always have cancellation insurance when you travel. So, anyways, we got married, and the rest is history from that. So we're perfectly legal. And the next question people will ask: did you ever think of having kids? Yes, I've thought of having kids, only if they're on a barbecue and they're done well done. Yeah, and I used to be a teacher. Yeah, that's probably why I've never wanted kids, really.
I've never really thought about it. I thought about it when I was younger, but never really. I figured we wouldn't be allowed to have them at one point. So by the time we were allowed to have them, we were too old.
Yeah, we're past our childbearing years. We've gone through the change. Okay?
So I don't really think I can handle a
Yeah.
kid running around.
Sophia would like to see photos of the party. Well, I can't really show them in this format to you. We do have a wedding album, but maybe at some point, maybe I'll do a separate video sometime and just a flip through our wedding album. They're not that exciting, really. I mean, wedding pictures, you know what it's like. You get all these pictures done, they get in a nice album, and you never look at it again.
Mhm.
And somebody always usually gets the album in the divorce proceedings, but anyways. Okay, so we met through an ad, we got married, and that kind of thing. And another question we had on here is, what were your lives like before you met? Happy.
So next week, I'll be putting up a little clip called S&W on roles in our relationship, because that's the other question we often get. Who does the laundry? Who does the cooking? We hate those questions. We really do, because they're kind of sexist in sort of a weird way. But anyways, more on that next week. Okay, so events in the past week. Well, I was supposed to get my hair cut on Friday. And about an hour and a half, 2 hours before my appointment time, my hairdresser phoned me up and said, I have a little problem. And I went, that means that she's not going to be cutting my hair today. Her furnace died. Well, you don't want your furnace dying this time of the year, do you? And of course, she had a window of when the HVAC person was supposed to come to check it out. The window that is, if it's Tuesday, they may show up a year from now, kind of a thing. So, anyways, she rescheduled me for this Tuesday. And I said, that's fine. It's not a problem. But oh my God, I need a haircut bad. I really do. I'm the kind of person that gets his haircut every 3 weeks and my beard trimmed as well. I trim my beard myself too, but she does such a nicer job with it. She's actually a certified barber as well as hairdresser too. And she loves trimming a man's beard because she doesn't get to do that very often. And so anyways, and she does an excellent job, or I wouldn't go to her. And I've been going to her for over 30 years. So yeah. But anyways, yeah, I need my haircut. So that's going to be, that was the events from last week and an event for this week. Ooh, it's so exciting when you're looking forward to a hair appointment. Other things though coming up, I am doing a guild presentation. This has been in the works for, several months. They approached me last fall and scheduled me. Originally, this was supposed to be done in January, but they had made a mistake on their booking and asked if I could do it this Wednesday. And I said, sure, no problem. It's done virtually, this particular one. So I'm all ready for that. They want to know why I'm an idiot quilter. I don't know if they're ready for this. But anyways, I'm a little nervous about doing this. Because, I want to make sure they're getting their money's worth. Oh, wait, they're not paying me. They offered to pay me. They asked me what my price was, and I said, I'm free. And I said that because, well, for a couple of reasons. One reason I said it is because I really thought I have never done this before. And I do believe that when you pay for something, you should get what you paid for. And, if I bomb, at least they can't say anything like, well, we paid for this. Well, no, you didn't. It was free. And also because guilds don't have a lot of money. They charge members dues and they may have a quilt show every other year or something like that. And basically that's where all their money comes from. And they have to make it last. Because most don't do a quilt show every year, at least the smaller ones. So, and I'm just flattered that they even thought of asking me to speak. So, yeah. So I am not charging for that at all. And I have another one to do in March as well. Now, that one is not done virtually. I actually physically go and talk to the group. That one's a little more scary too. And I don't have any problem standing up in front of a group of people and speaking. That's what I did for a living, right? As a teacher. But it's the technology, because I am taking my computer. I have a PowerPoint and the whole bit, and you never know what you're going to run into. So I have to have a backup system. And I really don't want to lug the quilts. I'm going to show them with me, but maybe I should. So we'll see how those go. Cross my fingers that everything goes well. So I do that this Wednesday. So next, probably talk about it on So Chatty, and probably talk it on live, and probably talk about it here, and probably talk about it on Idiot Quilter. You'll hear a lot about it. Yeah. Okay, so other things coming up. Okay, advance notice for both of these things. Pop-up Sew Day, Saturday, March 8th. That is not this Saturday. It's 1 week from this Saturday. Next week, I will have in my show notes the links for it. I'll send out an email on Monday to those on my mailing list. I will try to remember to make it a blind carbon copy. Sorry about that the last time when everybody got everything. Okay, I'm really sorry about that. It caused a couple of nasty comments from people too. Grow up. It was an oopsie. Didn't end the world. Anyways, that will go out a week from today, the email as well. And then, of course, just long distance retreat. The Idiot Quilter Spring Retreat, April 26th. You can pencil that into your calendar. I will start putting out the details about how to register and everything like that. I will make a video about all of that as well. And that will all come out at the 1st of April. So you'll know everything then. But I just mention it now because, spring gets busy. Warm weather comes. We all want to get out there and do things. So That will be Saturday, April 26th. Okay, that's it for me today. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you later.